Hello and welcome to freedomthroughastrology.com. My name is Don and I'm your astrologer, and here we're giving you the keys to living your best life. It's free, as you can see, it's freedomthroughastrology.com. There is another website with a similar name. The ending is different. That's a landing page that I'm working with getting developed. Nothing to worry about. But I am your astrologer. My name is Alan Patak. That is how you get a hold of me. Standard YouTube copyright. Keys to this reading. I read what's called sidereal astrology or astrology by the visible sky with a house full of cats that don't seem to be getting along at the moment. New moon. Oh well. Uh, but sidereal astrology, which means I'm reading the visible sky. So what you're going to be hearing is different than what you're going to be hearing with mainstream astrology. I practice a more ancient version, and I believe it's more true to the original intentions. I use the natural size sign, or size of the signs. Some astrologers make all the signs the same size. Vedic astrology does that as well. The constellations are all over the place. Virgo's huge, Aries is small, Taurus is somewhere in between. So I'm using the natural size of the signs. Uh, I use what are called astrological midpoints. The boundaries that we have for the constellations were drawn by astronomers who really don't care about astrology. Athens Shementi came up with this midpoint to try to even things out. I use it. It works quite well, I think, anyways. Um, I do read the 13th sign of Fucus, which is the wounded healer. He's between, or that constellation is between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So I do read the Wounded Healer. And what I'm reading are weekly transits. These are universal. Somebody, for the record, Kit is back to normal. She doesn't get along well with the kittens. So she's hissing at the kittens. She's back to normal. Okay, these are the weekly transits. These are the universal lessons that we're all learning this week. So this is a transiting planet to a transiting planet. This is not transiting to natal. That's a private reading that I do. And last but not least, this is my interpretation is using evolutionary astrology, which says that the planets and constellations are teachers, and they're here teaching us lessons. And so these are ideally, I'm focusing on the lessons that we're here to learn. And so ideally what I'm sharing you is what the high road is, if you successfully learn the lesson, what you're learning, and I will talk about the shadow, which is what missing the lesson means. And this is the weekly transit report for March 11th through the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Uh, this is an incredibly quiet week when I show it to you. We have the moon going Pisces through Gemini, and the moon is the active planet of the week. Seriously. We do have this long transit of the South Node in opposition to Chiron. We do have the Sun conjuncting Neptune this week in Pisces. And that's it. There it is. I could add more detail to this by drawing in the moon changes, but I didn't. So that is our week. So at the beginning of the week, we just have a little closeout of Mercury and Pluto, learning about deep truths, Mars and Uranus, having the courage to be yourself, and then this long transit of Chiron healing by reflecting on how you hold yourself back. And then at the end of the week, Saturday and Sunday, the sun, your identity is conjunct with Neptune, being receptive, learning about spirit. That's it. So let's see. So just to rehash some of what's going on, we do have Chiron in Pisces in opposition to the South Node in Virgo. So Chiron is about healing, and the South Node is how you hold yourself back. So this is you learning how to heal yourself from the ways you hold yourself back. I called it. I refer to it to somebody as ending self-sabotage. Like, wow, that's awesome. So and in Pisces, Pisces is about releasing things. So the lesson here is reflecting on how you hold yourself back through perfectionist attitudes, Virgo being the best you can be, having everything picture perfect, and really healing yourself of that wound that everything has to be perfect learning what good enough is. There's one discussion group I'm in. The leader of the group constantly says the enemy of good enough is perfection. And sometimes good enough is all you need, believe it or not. Perfection is nice, but in this world, let's go for good enough. And Chiron is healing, and Pisces, you're learning to transcend the wounds and release them and let them go. So that's what this is. This is that. I think it's supposed to end this week. I think it's going to go longer. This was my preliminary. We'll figure it out. This started on Friday. Mars in Capricorn squared Uranus in Aries. Mars is having courage. Uranus is being your authentic self. And a square is a challenge. So the challenge of being your authentic self. In Capricorn, it's having integrity and doing the work. So having the courage to do the work of being your authentic self and having the courage to be your authentic self. And a square, like I say, is a challenge. Think of squares as being, as there to build strength, really. If you look at, if you look at the pyramids, well, I've got a cat on me, and if I don't scratch him, he's going to go crazy on me. If you look at the pyramids from a distance, they're triangles, but when you get up close, they are built on squares. Squares, that tension builds strength. So the tension of doing the work of being your authentic self can build strength for you. Okay? And that ends on Monday. We also have Mercury in Pisces in a sextile or an excitement to Pluto in Capricorn. So this is Mercury is learning communication, and Pluto, in this case, Pluto is deep truth. So this is learning about deep truth. Pisces is about transcending, so learning about and I think deep truth really fits the whole thing. And like I said, the sextile is an excitement. Pluto and Capricorn doing the work. And so here we have this situation where you're learning, where you're being exposed to a deep truth and you're learning it. My quip here says speaking from the depths. And my notes say learning to speak or communicate differently. Hidden truths can arise. Be open to them and learn from them. Learn to be honest. Be advised the truth can... Who is scratching on what? Oh, the cats are destroying a newspaper. Be advised, truth can set you free. It can make you miserable first. That's the joke Stephen Forrest makes in his talks about Pluto and Mercury, or actually Pluto anything. The shadow of this is be careful not allowing you to see something that is essential to your growth, blinding yourself. Mercury can be a know-it-all, thinking it knows everything and using chattering and talking as a defense, or it can think that it can't learn it all. The other side of the coin is, I can't learn that. That's too challenging. That's too hard. And just shutting down and the talking or not listening becomes a defense. And also I have here maintaining the lies of the past or hiding from the truth is missing the path and missing the point. And Ghost just jumped up on me again. Okay. And this was from the new moon. Whoops, sorry about that. We have the moon in Pisces. This is a picture post new moon, which we had the new moon very early this morning. The moon is your emotion or your souls, and in Pisces, it's learning transcendence and release, and also seeing things from a different perspective or a higher perspective. And my notes here say, seek a fresh, it can be about spirituality as well. So it says, seek a fresh vision through spiritual practices. Be open to new ways of experiencing the world. I'm open to a new way of experiencing doing this presentation. This is our kitten commercial. This is Ghost. I think he's the runt of the litter. He always gets shoved aside, even though he's a ball muscle. Dude, you got to learn your strength. And he's decided to join us this week. So this is little Ghost. He's all gray like his mother. So seek a fresh vision through spiritual practices. Be open to new ways of experiencing the world. And with this being the moon, this is the soul, this is your emotions. Being emotionally open to these spiritual experiences can be helpful. The shadow is completely withdrawing or trying to escape from these experiences. So, and this is Pisces is either the second or the third largest constellation in the sky. So this is going to go on. I think it's the third off the top of my head. One of these days, I'm going to rank the sizes. I have it written down someplace. And our next transit happens on Wednesday, March 13th. The moon enters Aries. And the moon, again, your soul in Aries, learning courage. So expect opportunities to be brave and learn perseverance, that stick with itness, to go through things to the completion. And that's Spider Cat or the Parkour Cat. I'm being interrupted by cats this week. So it's time to, so this is expect opportunities, be brave, learn perseverance, expect challenges and competition, like doing an astrology forecast with kittens climbing all over you. These are intended to strengthen you. The shadow is falling into fear and giving up and giving into exploding anger or tearing everything down, or falling into fear and just cowering and hiding away and not accepting the challenge. These can come and haunt you down the road. So that's the moon in Aries. It will be conjunct Jupiter, which is about dreaming and aspirations and seeking that higher dreaming of how do you dream for your life? What are your goals? So there's that. And it will also be conjunct Uranus, which is being your authentic self. So be open to that. I'll probably blog on that later this week. Since there's not much to write about, I will write about this. Okay, Thursday on the 14th, moon enters Taurus. And Taurus, you want to understand Taurus, read the story of Ferdinand the Bull in the children's section of your library. I think it nails Taurus perfectly. It's time to settle down, seek calmness, find time to become centered and cultivate peace, quiet. Stability and strength are two good qualities to develop during this time. So this is going to last all the way up until Saturday-ish. So this is finding strength in peace, the peaceful warrior, so to speak. That strong, calm, quiet person. Let's see. My shadow here is being stubborn and sticking to what no longer is serving you can be a drain. It can also create a prison of consistency and lead to a deeper feeling of emptiness. So just because that's the way you've always done it might not necessarily bring peace. In fact, it might actually lead to, the old cliche is the bull in the china shop. That can happen. So the aim here is to find peace. Be careful of falling into laziness or that proverbial bull in the china shop, just doing what comes easy because, or exploding into uncontrollable anger. And our big transit for the week is the Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces. The Sun is your ego, it's yourself. You don't like the word ego, use the word personality. But you came here to learn to have a healthy ego. That's a key lesson in the way I teach astrology. Is the Sun is your ego. You have a healthy and an unhealthy expression. You came here to learn the healthy expression. And Neptune is about being receptive to spirit, open to spirit, transcendental experiences, or the transcending experiences, I should say. Pisces is about release, also about spirituality. So this is really a deep opportunity here. And it's time to integrate your true spirituality and take the next step on your personal spiritual path. I'm being attacked by kittens. Please help me. Expect opportunity to work with spiritual teachers and receive spiritual teachings and insights. Be open to dreams and other psychic experiences. So this is a time to be open to the spiritual experiences in life. And it may be different than what you're used to. It may be it might be something a little bit different, be a little bit more open-minded as to how spirit can appear to you. or how you experience spirit. Um, let's see. Be open to expect opportunities to work with spiritual teachers, receive spiritual insights and teachings. Also, be open to dreams and other psychic experiences. Pay attention to your dreams during this upcoming weekend. What are they speaking to you? What other spiritual experiences you're having? That's what this is all about. Let's see. Falling into fantasy or other escapist practices will mislead you. This is the shadow. Also, falling for illusions and self delusion can lead you to an inflated self sense of the self. And this just something I scratched on the side of my notes. It says balloons break. And balloons do pop and explode. So the inflated ego, the inflated false self, someone's going to come along with a pin and pop it. So be careful of that. My alternative is be careful of shutting down to the spirit and dismissing it altogether. That's the other extent of it. There is being too spiritual and so lost that you're out there in never land and of no earthly good because you're so heavenly minded. The other side is total atheism. There is no spirituality, etc., and shutting down to the spiritual experiences, intuition, etc., as well. And let's see. And on Sunday, and this dovetails in nicely here. The moon dovetails nicely in with the sun and Neptune. Moon in Gemini. The moon, your soul again, Gemini is curiosity. And be open to new ideas and information. Expect new and different experiences to present themselves to you. Be open to what they have to offer. So emotionally, be teachable. I think that's the lesson here. Talking too much can lead to missing important information, important opportunities. It can also be a defensive tactic that results in a deeper soul wound. And remember, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, can be a know-it-all or doesn't think it can learn it all. So those two extremes there. Talking is a tactic, you can miss things, or not listening, you can miss information. And that is our week. Follow me on social media. If you go to freedomthroughastrology.com, I believe it is. One of them. Yes, freedomthroughastrology.com. On the bottom of the page, I have a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn accounts. I post on all three of them. I'm a member of the Digital Soul Space, which is an online community that's dedicated to spirituality. There's a free and a paid version. People say, why would I want to pay for it? And all this is here because you're paying for this with your data. They're making billions of dollars off your data, and unless you fall under certain parameters and conditions, you don't get a penny of it. So you're paying either which way you're paying. It's, how do you want to pay? But Digital Soul Space, it's a troll-free community. The people who are there because they want to be there. They're all very serious about being there. You got questions, you post, you ask, they give you answers. There are many different modalities. Astrology is one of the many, many different things they cover on there. It's awesome. Site reminder, new offerings coming. Let me escape. Go to the site. If you go to freedomthroughastrology.com, that's where you can find all my information. If you click on subscribe, sign up for the newsletter, and it comes out once a week, a summary of the major astrological events of the week, give you an astrological insight, exclusive subscriber-only discounts and offers, information on live appearance and events, and all you need is an email. Once a week, you get it. Want an appointment? Click on scheduling. Scheduling is still up and working as the site gets changed over, and I have all my information here on what I offer. Birth charts, past life or karmic charts. The transit readings or the predictive readings are also known as the horoscopes, and I do that on the month, year, and quarterly basis. And if you have a question, you want me to take one of these transits and do a deep dive on your chart with it, I ask a 30-minute consultation, and I will take a look at your birth chart and do the deep dive. The Live one-to-one doesn't work. If you click on services, all these are recordings. Everything I offer live one-to-one, I do recording with the exception of the quick 6 reading that's only offered as a recording. If you want to see how your chart changes under the visible sky, that's the perfect way to do it at an affordable cost. If you click on blog, that's where you'll find all these. That's where I do the transits in a written form, and I take the transits and I do deeper dives on them throughout the week and add more information. And I'm just going to go back to here just real quick. Site is being redone and reorganized. We're working on it a little bit each day, reorganizing it so that it's more practical to you and serves your needs better. So this first part is just a little introduction, and then we have the birth chart and the readings that I suggest you get first. Then we have the second set, which is going to be the transit or the horoscope readings. Underneath this will be packages. I have 4 packages that I will be offering that give you multiple readings together, and not all at once, but multiple readings at 4 different levels, and at a discount as well that gets built in. So there's what I call the quick pick, which is the birth chart and the karmic chart read together. Then I do a yearly overview, which again, it's your birth chart, karmic chart. I look at the life cycle. So I look at the outer planets and where they are in relationship to their natal position and give you information to help you work with that and what you can expect. And then the yearly overview, which I look at the big themes of the year. The next level, I think I call the 4 seasons. We add to all that 4 3 quarterly transit readings so you can see the supporting themes that come in to help you. And then I have this big one, which we're still finishing up the name. It's either through the zodiac or across the zodiac or through your skies. Still working on the title for it, but ideally it's everything that we mentioned there plus 13 monthly readings. And when I read a month, I go from new moon to new moon. That's the natural cycle, and that's what makes sense. That's what I prefer to do, unless you ask otherwise. But we have another cat joining us. But all that is going to be added to the site, and you'll be information pages. So I think the site is moving along and is going to be much better organized for you and make much more sense. So let's go back to here. Slideshow, current slide. So there you go. Find me, like, follow. Oops. And if you do, this is helpful. Follow me on YouTube as well. Like, follow, share. Appreciate all of it. Thank you very much. Have the best week possible.